Let's remove a layer from our web map. Open up the removeLayer.py script from the MapContent folder. We are going to use the map object's content property to access the MapContent object and use the remove method for the MapContent to remove a layer from our web map. Let's head over to the documentation for the remove method. Here we have the documentation for the remove method for the MapContent. Here we can remove a layer or a table from the map either by specifying the index or passing in the layer dictionary. The layer dictionary is from the JSON definition that we've seen throughout this course. We are going to specify the index. There are two possible parameters. The index, which will be an integer defining the index of where that layer sits in the map, and is it a layer? If true, it is a layer. If false, you are removing a table. So let's head back over to PyScripter. We first access ArcGIS Online. We then use the Content Manager get method and supply in our WebMap item ID, which I'll paste in now from my notepad, or you can grab from ArcGIS Online. We'll assign the calling of the get method to a variable called WebMap item. This is an item object. We will then create our map object by feeding in the WebMap item, and we will assign that to a variable called WebMap. Let's pop on over to ArcGIS Online. Here we have the current state of our web map. We have two tables, named the same. We have a group layer. This is at index 0 in the operational layers. We then have our NIAH locations, our county boundaries, and our PNHA. And this is the layer that we want to remove because we already have it in the group layer. So at what index does our PNHA lie? 0 for the group layer, 1 for NIAH locations, 2 for county boundaries, and 3 for our PNHA. Let's head back over to PyScripter. We use our map object and access the content property, which is a MapContent object, and we want to use the remove method. We know this remove method has two possible parameters. The first is the index, which we're going to set to 3, and the second is layer, which we're going to set to true. It is a layer that we want to remove. Because we are using a method that directly affects the map object, we need to call the update method on our map object to commit the change. So let's run our script. Our script is complete. Let's head on over to ArcGIS Online and check out the result. Before I refresh the page, we can see we have our PNHA layer here in our map. When we refresh, we expect this to be no longer there. So I'll refresh now. And we can see our PNHA has been removed. Now, unfortunately, we can also see that both our tables have now got subtype group table, subtype group table. This bug is driving me demented. Anyway, I figured out a nice little workaround that you are going to have access to at the start of this course that will help alleviate that bug. In this video, we saw how we could use the remove method for the MapContent object to remove a layer from our web map.